1986. Welcome back. Time to jump in the old time machine and head back to 1986. I'm Chris. This is Late Night Dead Wax. So 1986 brought us the Space Shuttle Challenger disaster, the Iran-Contra affair, the Hands Across America, and some great records. These are my favorite from my collection. I'm not doing this in any order, just in the way that they came out. It's not a countdown. I'm sure I missed some great ones too. I started this with around 35 this year and narrowed it down to 25. So I cut 10. So if I'm missing your favorite, please drop it in the comments. For real, doing these videos has turned me on to some great music, and I would have otherwise missed it if not for the comments from the viewers. So thank you for watching, liking, commenting, everything. So here we go. So first up, we have the Bangles, Different Light. This came out on January 10th. It was their second album. It was the major breakthrough album for them. It had 3 singles, 3 hits too. The first one, Manic Monday, written by Prince under the name Christopher. If She Knew What She Wants and Walk Like an Egyptian. My copy right here is a 1986 OG with the smaller UPC symbol. Whatever that means, that's what I got. And the price, you can still pick these up for 10, 15 bucks to get a good copy. Janet Jackson, Control. February 4th, this came out. 3rd record, first collaboration with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, and it just blew up. A major run of 6 huge hits. What Have You Done For Me Lately? Nasty. When I Think of You, Control, Let's Wait a While, and The Pleasure Principle. This launched a completely new sound, and the videos just changed everything. This is just straight hits, the entire thing, and a great album. Mine is another US OG from 1986, and you can still pick these up for like 10 bucks. I highly recommend them. So, of course, got an Ozzy record. This was February 10th, Ozzy Osbourne, The Ultimate Sin. It was his 4th studio album and 2nd and last record with guitarist Jake E. Lee. All of Ozzy's vocals were recorded in Paris. I don't know why that matters to me. Just seemed interesting, so yeah. This is a very successful album for Ozzy. It reached number 6 in the US charts, and the big break for this one was the video for Shot in the Dark. I remember being glued to MTV waiting for the world premiere for this one. I also have great fond memories of spinning my Uncle Kelly's copy a lot that summer. Yeah, so shout out Uncle Kelly. Singles off this one, Shot in the Dark and The Ultimate Sin, my copy, and another US first pressing. These aren't cheap. They're not crazy expensive, but 50 bucks will get you a good copy, but it's never been reissued outside of the See You on the Other Side box set. So here we are. This is a big one. This was March 3rd, Master of Puppets by Metallica. Wow, this really changed a lot of stuff. This was their 3rd album, and sadly the last, with bassist Cliff Burton. He passed away later in September of 1986. Personally, the first Metallica record I owned and my first introduction to thrash. This record peaked at number 29, despite no radio play or videos. None. My copy, definitely not a first pressing on this one. Mine is a 2017 reissue on the Blackened record label. You can find these around $25, and yeah, Metallica, Master of Puppets. Van Halen, 5150. This came out on March 24th. It was the 7th album from the band and the first of 4 featuring Sammy Hagar on vocals. This was Van Halen's first record to hit number 1. 1984 peaked at number 2 only because Thriller was number 1 at the time. The singles are Why Can't This Be Love, Dreams, Love Walks In, and Best of Both Worlds, which is my favorite on this album. Critics and fans' views were kind of mixed when this first came out. It definitely had a noticeably more polished and less heavy, straightforward hard rock sound. Although I agree with that, I don't think it was a bad thing. And hints of this direction were on the 1984 album. My copy, which the sleeve is trashed. Sorry, Hans. Is a 1986 Club Edition. To get one of these, you're looking at $56 for a good copy. Also, on March 24th of 1986, we have the Pet Shop Boys, Please. This was the debut studio album from the English synth-pop duo of Chris Lowe and Neil Tennant. According to the duo, the album's title was chosen so people could go into a record store and say, quote, "Can I have the Pet Shop Boys album, please?" The album peaked at number 7 in the U.S. charts, and it had the singles West Side Girls, Love Comes Quickly, Opportunities, Let's Make Lots of Money, and Suburbia. I only remember at the time hearing West End Girls and Opportunities. I don't remember the other two, but it is a great album. My copy is a 1986 OG, and you can still pick up these for $10 to $15. Judas Priest Turbo from April 7th, 1986. It was the 10th studio album from the band, and it had them using synthesizers for the first time. It was definitely changing direction from the band, moving to a more commercial sound. When it dropped, it was my favorite Priest record. As Rob Halford put it, quote, "It's one of the recordings that divide opinion." I still love this record, but tend to gravitate towards the earlier stuff a little more often now. Even still, it remains on my list for 1986. It had the singles Turbo Lover, which is a crazy video, Locked In, and Parental Guidance. Parental Guidance is my favorite song on the record, and it was said to be written in response to Tipper Gore and the PMRC. So, being a metal kid from the 80s, yeah, I was down with that. My copy is a first U.S. press. Nice thing is you can still pick up a good copy, probably around $20 for this. Time for Poison. May 23rd brought us Poison, Look What the Cat Dragged In. It was a debut record from the glam metal band Poison. Although they are from LA, 3 of the members are from Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, which is about an hour from me. I personally feel like this record absolutely defines the genre. You really couldn't get more hair and makeup. All in all, this is a solid record mixing the fun of the genre and decent production. It was not a hit initially, but it did go to number 3 in 1987, fueled mostly by the band's over-the-top videos, in which their look was perfect for MTV. Singles Cry Tough, Talk Dirty to Me, I Want Action, and I Won't Forget You. My copy is a 2021 reissue from Friday Music, and you can pick them up for probably about $35. AC/DC, Who Made Who? This was the soundtrack for Maximum Overdrive, a Stephen King movie. This was actually the first AC/DC record that I personally owned. Anyway, so the movie was for Maximum Overdrive, which wasn't Stephen King's finest film. I mean, it wasn't horrible, but the soundtrack is all songs from Australia's finest, AC/DC. The album featured 3 new AC/DC songs, including the title track. The rest were filled out with previous songs from the band's earlier recordings. It plays like a greatest hits, including one song, Ride On, with the original singer who died in 1980, Bon Scott. The singles off this one, Who Made Who and You Shook Me All Night Long, which was also a single off Back in Black. Anyway, my copy, 1986 Club Edition, and you can pick these up for $25. Now we're up to Run-DMC's Raising Hell. This was May 27th. This album is widely considered to be one of the greatest and most important albums in the history of hip-hop music and culture. It's the 3rd record from NYC's Run-DMC. A year after release, it was certified 3 times platinum. This was a big record for both hip-hop and the direction of music in general. It was produced by Russell Simmons and Rick Rubin, and the singles, My Adidas, Walk This Way, You Be Illin', and It's Tricky. The cover of Walk This Way featured the original artist, Aerosmith, and was their biggest hit. It's considered the first rap rock song and helped push rap into the mainstream. My copy is a 1986 OG with the purple and red cover variant. Scratch that. Purple and green cover variant. You can pick these up for like 25 bucks for a good copy, but make sure you check condition. Like a lot of the hip hop records, especially from the 80s, they were well loved, and I need to upgrade mine for that same reason. So check condition, 25 bucks, you can pull it off. On June 9th, we got Cinderella Night Songs. I love this album. It was the debut from my favorite band from the glam metal genre. Although I, like many others, don't consider them just glam or hair metal, the first record sure did look the part. Cinderella was an amazing and underrated hard rock band from Philly. They had only 4 studio albums, but in my opinion, never put out a bad one. This is where it all began, Night Songs. I first discovered them when the video for Shake Me hit MTV. And a lot like Poison, they had a look that was perfect for videos. This record actually hit number 3 and went double platinum. MTV helped, but a big part of the success was also the opening slot on Bon Jovi's Slippery When Wet, huge world tour. That was also big for me personally because it was the first concert I ever went to, and the record was not far from my turntable for pretty much the rest of the year. This is a good one. It's all good, but the singles were Shake Me, Nobody's Fool, and Somebody Save Me. The video for Somebody Save Me actually featured John and Richie from Bon Jovi. Anyway, my copy is a 1986 U.S. First Press, and you can still pick up a copy for 25 to 30 bucks for a good one. And June 27th of 1986 brought us Queensryche, Rage for Order. Rage for Order was Queensryche's second studio record and showed a move more towards a progressive sound. I didn't find this record in 86. In fact, I didn't even know the band existed at all until the follow-up album, Operation Mindcrime. That record is one of my all-time favorites. And after that, I dove back through their catalog and discovered this one. I do have to say the band pictures on the back look very dated now. I'm not sure what they were going for. Maybe they look like a band of metal vampires. It's pretty cool. Anyway, the singles on this one were Gonna Get Close to You and a double A side of The Whisper and I Dream in Infrared, which was my favorite song on the album, and Walk in the Shadows. Mine is a 1986 US pressing with the black ring cover. Not sure what the distinction is, but that's the one I got. And these are not cheap ones. They usually run between 60 and 70 bucks, but it's worth it if you like progressive glam with the pseudo-goth vampire look. And now we have Madonna True Blue. This was also in June 30th. This was Madonna's third record, coming off the huge album Like a Virgin. This record was the first time that Madonna co-wrote and co-produced. It was an instant hit, hitting number 1 in a record-breaking 28 countries. It was the best-selling album of 1986, fueled by some great singles. Live to Tell, Papa Don't Preach, True Blue, Open Your Heart, and La Isla Bonita. All hit the top 5, and 3 went all the way to number 1. My copy is a 1986 OG, but I'm missing the hype sticker. So I might grab one if I see one with a hype sticker, because you can pick these up for usually around 10 bucks. They sold so many of these, so they're still pretty easy to find. I feel like if I don't say, give me a bottle of anything and a glazed donut to go, I'm not doing this justice. Anyway, here we go. July 7th gave us David Lee Roth, Eat 'em and Smile. After parting ways with Van Halen, this was David Lee Roth's solo LP following the EP Crazy from the Heat. He put together basically an all-star band with bassist Billy Sheehan, drummer Greg Bissonette, and guitar virtuoso Steve Vai. The biggest hit was Yankee Rose. The video was a staple on MTV, and the song was a tribute to the Statue of Liberty, which reopened in 1986 after a massive renovation. The singles, Yankee Rose, Going Crazy, and That's Life. My Copy, 1986, US pressing, and you can still pick these up. This is another cheap one. $10 will get you a good record. So this is a big one. We have Bon Jovi, Slippery When Wet. This came out on August 18th. It was the third record from New Jersey's Bon Jovi, and the first time they were working with Desmond Child. There were 4 songs together in Richie Sambora's basement. Those 4 songs were Without Love, I Die For You, and the monster hits You Give Love a Bad Name and Living on a Prayer. The record spent 8 weeks at #1. It was the best-selling album of 1987. Most consider this to be the album that brought hair metal to the masses. There's a few later in the video that jumped on the wave created by John and the Boys, but this was a big one. This is Slippery. Anyway, singles, You Give Love a Bad Name, Living on a Prayer, Wanted Dead or Alive, and my favorite, Never Say Goodbye. This album was quintessential 1986. Mine is the first US pressing with the horrible trash bag cover. You can pick these up pretty cheap, $20-25 for a really nice copy. There are a lot of them pressed because they were great. It was a great record. Next up, we have Cyndi Lauper's True Colors. This was September 15th, 1986. It's a follow-up to the debut She's So Unusual. I think this is better start to finish. I think it's a more complete record. It did hit #4 on the US charts with the singles True Colors, which hit #1, Change of Heart, What's Going On, and Boy Blue. My Copy is a 1986 US on the Portrait label. And these are pretty plentiful. You can pick them up for $15-20 for a nice copy. Now we have Alice Cooper, Constrictor. This was September 24th. This was my first Alice Cooper record that I ever personally owned. Not this copy, but it was his 9th studio album. And this record was also the first to feature Kane Roberts on guitar and Kip Winger. Yeah, that Kip Winger on bass. It was kind of a return to the charts for Alice, which actually hit #59, which is pretty good for an Alice Cooper record. I bought my first copy as a teenager because of the song from Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. We had a couple singles off this one. It was He's Back, The Man Behind the Mask, which was from the Jason movie, and Teenage Frankenstein, great song. My Copy is an 86 club pressing, which is kind of ironic because that's exactly what I had back in the day that I bought with my own money, kind of, from Columbia House. Anyway, you can pick up a copy of this for $35 now. It's a good record. Sticking with the hard rock trend of 1986, I got another one here. We got Ratt, Dancing Undercover. This was also September 24th. Third record from Ratt. Admittedly, not my personal favorite Ratt album, but definitely one of my favorites from 1986. It was expertly produced by one of the genre's greatest, Beau Hill, along with all 4 of the first Ratt records. It even reached #26 in the US. Singles, Dance, which appeared in Miami Vice episode, Body Talk, which was also on the soundtrack for the film Golden Child, and Slip of the Lip. It's kind of funny how popular it was becoming and being used in TV and movies. Anyway, My Copy is a 1986 US OG. You can still grab these for $25 for a nice copy. Now we have Megadeth. The very next day, September 25th, Peace Sells But Who's Buying came out. The metal records keep coming at this part of 86, and this was no doubt should be on the list. This was the second record from Megadeth. It's an album that's considered a thrash metal classic. It appears on every list. At this time in 1986, Megadeth was my favorite of the big 4, but that list changes regularly for me because I really do kind of love them all, and there might be more coming. Singles, Wake Up Dead and Peace Sells, which was the band's first music video. And My Copy is a 2018 sound of vinyl, exclusive dark purple pressing, because nobody can afford, well, I shouldn't say nobody, but I certainly can't afford a OG copy of this one. But you can pick these reissues up for around 30 bucks. Still in September, still going with the metal. September 29th brought us Iron Maiden, Somewhere in Time. This was the first Maiden record I purchased myself. I like the early stuff, but when this came out and I first saw the video on MTV, I had to have it. Unfortunately, that copy, like a lot of my records from back then, didn't survive. This record was made after a long and grueling world slavery tour, and the band was exhausted, but it is still a solid record. The singles on this one were Wasted Years, which was that video that made me go buy this, and Stranger in a Strange Land. My copy, another reissue, 2014 European release. The cool thing about Iron Maiden is they're still repressing, and you can pick up a new copy of this for about 30 bucks. So we're out of September. We're into October. October 20th. Slayer, Rain and Blood. This was one that I had on CD and needed on vinyl, and that's the reason why this video took so long, because I needed a copy of this. This record peaked at number 94 on the US charts. Might up seem like a lot. That's kind of crazy high for a Slayer album in '86. It was the third from Slayer, the first working with super producer Rick Rubin. This record comes in just shy of 29 minutes. It averages 220 beats per minute. It's very short and very fast, but wow, every second is amazing. They had singles, Postmortem, and remix of Criminally Insane, but let's be honest, records like this didn't really rely on singles. As us metalheads, we all had our favorites, and well, the answer is Angel of Death. That's the answer. My copy is a US reissue, 2022. You can still pick these up, 30, 35 bucks. They're still out there. They've been reissued several times. They kind of go fast, but the price is right. Next up, we have Eddie Money, Can't Hold Back. This came out in October. I don't know the day. I couldn't find it. Cashbox Magazine called this album, quote, passionate and powerful pop rock. It really sums it up. Not just this record, but Eddie Money's career in general. Can't Hold Back was his sixth release and was a big one, fueled by the first two singles and radio-friendly sound. They were all over the radio and MTV. Those singles are Take Me Home Tonight, which featured Ronnie Spector, and I Want to Go Back, which was my personal favorite, and I have the record. I have it on the jukebox. It's a good one. And Endless Nights and We Should Be Sleeping. 4 singles off of this one. Mine is an 86 US first pressing, and these are a pretty cheap one. 10 bucks is about right for a nice copy. Beastie Boys, License to Ill. This was November 15th. Less than a month later, another Rick Rubin produced record. This was the first rap album that really got me into the genre. I know it sounds cliche, but yeah, it opened a lot of doors for me, and a lot of exposure to different rap. Between this and the Run-DMC record, it was everything. I still love this record, start to finish. I mean, there's no skips on it for me. And making the jump easier for a teenage metalhead was the fact that the great Kerry King from Slayer was on 2 of these tracks. This might not be considered the best of the Beastie Boys outings. I mean, they went on to make some amazing records. And but this is where it started. This record had 7 singles. Hold It Now, Paul Revere, The New Style, You Gotta Fight for Your Right to Party, Brass Monkey, No Sleep Till Brooklyn, and Girls. 7 singles. This album was just an absolute monster. My copy's an 86 US OG copy, and you can pick up the later reissues between 25 and 30 bucks. And yeah, this one means a lot to me. It was It was a big part of my growing up, and you know, I found the "Eat Me Backwards on the Airplane" hilarious. I found the lyrics hilarious. It's teenage boy stuff, and it's also I knew that my sister Maddie's best friend Denise is really into the Beastie Boys too, so this one's for you. So we've reached December. December 8th, we got Tesla Mechanical Resonance. Wow, another hard rock debut. Man, there were a lot of them this year. This is the first one from Tesla, and it comes out of the gate on fire, especially for a hard rock or a metal band. You have to set the tone with the opening track, and this one delivers. Easy Come, Easy Go is a straight up rock anthem. This record went platinum and peaked at 32 in the US. It had the singles Modern Day Cowboy, Little Susie, and Getting Better. This is some really cool, heavy blues rock. My copy, an RSD Black Friday exclusive, as you can tell by the Obi. That happened in 2021. The following year, we got the Great Radio Controversy, and I was really hoping the trend would continue, and we would get Psychotic Supper and then Five Man, but nope, and it stopped. Anyway, the price from this one will run you right around $45. So here we go, last one of the year. This was December 9th. Joan, Jett and the Blackhearts, good music. Wow. I'm sure if you've watched my channel, you knew that I was going to sneak a Joan Jett record in here, and luckily she released one this year. Probably thinking, hey, Chris, where's Joan? Well, here you go. Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, good music. Not the best record from Joan and the Boys, but it's still one of my favorites, especially for this year. It did set the groundwork for the musical direction of the next record, which I absolutely love. And I've mentioned before, Up Your Alley. It failed to crack the top 100. It peaked at 105. So this did not do real well, and only had one single and video for Good Music, which failed to chart. And MTV kind of ignored the video. Yeah. Anyway, Jett and the Blackhearts, good music. It's still a good record. Mine is a 1986 US OG, and you can pick one of these up for about $25. So that's all, folks. 1986, all done. This was a pivotal year for rock and pop. We saw our first real commercial success from the hard rock and glam metal. First time thrash really found a widespread audience. And a lot of debuts this year, too. It set the table for 1987, my favorite year in music. Did I miss anything? What did I miss? Passed on your favorite? Throw it in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. I love doing these year videos. I have a full-time job and a family, so it takes me a while to put these together, but they are fun. Up next, I was hoping to do 1991, another real turning point in music. I think I'll need a guest for that one. It would also be a lot of fun to do another 80s year. I don't know, maybe bring in my Uncle Kelly for that one. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Well, I did it again. I think I definitely put too much metal. But that's what I listened to in 86, and I don't know what you listen to. So throw in the comments. Maybe check out another video. Thank you.